Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing an episode of Draw With Me, where my boyfriend was really excited for me to draw All Might. First, I realized very quickly that I wasn't indeed recording, so I erased and then had to retrace my sketch. I feel like the fun thing about art really is that if somebody that you love or cherish wants you to create something, you can. And that's really, really fun and exciting. And I had a fun time doing this. Right now we're on season 7. And we cried all of season 6. I'm not going to be saying any spoilers because I'm not quite sure where everyone is. But if you have or haven't seen the show My Hero Academy, it's really, really good. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and I think it's a lot better than my boyfriend thought it was going to be. Here I am just using the Micron Fineliners to really get all the details and get the like over exaggerated liner of like his. How do I even word this? I think he has a lot of abs. That's what I can say. And based on the show, he is like the best superhero that I think I've ever seen. I haven't really seen a lot of the Marvel movies. I've been forced to watch a couple, but I'd say out of every superhero I've seen in like comics and shows, I'd say All Might is probably my favorite. Yeah, I don't really know how much I can say without spoiling the show, but 10 out of 10. And I had a lot of fun using his color palette to draw. It's very similar to like Captain America, but at the same time, I think both the design of him and the colors are much like harsher, which is a really cool like juxtaposition to him as a character. I put a lot of thought into this, like the current political position that this world is in, how vital it would have been to have like a symbol of peace in today's society, or just someone that is the symbol of goodness. And I feel like if you really try, you could kind of apply this character and his ups and downs to the political state of the world. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't get political with a drawing, but I don't know. I have a lot of love and I have a lot of respect for this character specifically. But back to the drawing. Here I am using the red Ohuhu markers. I can link in the description below which markers I did use specifically. It is from the Honolulu set, I believe. And I'd used like on a general scale, probably about 3 to 4 different shades of the same color. So I used a very deep dark red, and then I felt like it was about the same shade of red. Like it was 3 different types of red, but 2 of them were very, very similar in shade. So using them to blend was fairly easy. And then I went in and did All Might's skin. And I made a really big mistake with he has like a golden plated, it's a part of his costume on his forearm. And instead I accidentally colored in his hand gold. And I did a lot of like damage control trying to sort that. I think it turned out okay. I'm not sure. Let me know if you can tell before I've said anything. When I look at it from a distance, I can't tell anymore, but if I really think about it, I can see it. And I'm also the one who's done it. So we'll see. Here I am doing his skin tone. And I really, really struggle with doing skin. I feel like it always just turns out really flat and really plain. And I have a hard time not blending, but I want there to be more life to it. And I have tried to shade with like purple and different shades, but then they almost end up really sickly. And I'd say same thing kind of applies with like red shades. Could be me. I probably could work on a little bit more color theory, but I think it turned out pretty good for what the drawing is and the fact that it's a 2D fictional character. I had a lot of fun using I think the shade is called porcelain. Using the porcelain shade to kind of do the white. It brought a lot of dimension to him as a character. And at this point right here, I do think he looked at his best. I did add, or I considered adding a background for majority of this and was considering doing like city buildings or maybe like UA Academy in the background. However, I did not want to take attention away from him as a character. So I think I ended up going for something a bit more plain, which was a mistake. And if you want to, you can fast forward a little bit so you can see how the background turned out. And then I think I also went through and kind of realized, like, after looking at a couple reference photos, that he is much more masculine. I don't know, muscular. He's more jacked. He has a lot more rippling abs and chest pectoral muscles than I thought he did. So I went through with a couple fine liners and tried to exaggerate that. But I don't really think there was much more I could do from that point. And then I just ended up doing a lot of damage control with my colored pencils. They are from Panduro, I want to say. I want to say they're from Panduro. And I spent a lot of time kind of shading in his face, hoping to give that a bit more dimension, which I think it did. Turned out pretty half decent. I also used it to kind of shade in the hair and give the hair a bit more dimension. And I don't know if you've ever used colored pencils on top of a fine liner. It doesn't necessarily take away the fine liner, but it does like thin it out. So I did do a couple of like the defining features in his face. I did go over that again with a Micron. And here is the background. Background, yeah. The slogan, if you haven't seen My Hero Academia, is Plus Ultra. So I did attempt to do that background, and then quickly realized that I probably should have taken a couple more minutes to properly pan out where the background would be, because now it kind of just looks like Plu Ult. But I'm hoping that you'd understand if you'd seen it. I don't know, but that's how this is the finished product. Let me know what you think, and I really hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're interested in seeing more, go ahead and follow me.